So, when you read 1 Corinthians 11, if you take it out of context, right? One is not talking about you now after the fall, right? It's talking about one man, Adam, right? He was taken out of one man, Adam, not you. If she's in him 50-50, they're both in the same image, right? That image was a male or female. It's both. That's why God can say, I'm not a man, but I'm more than a woman, right? Understand what it means now, right? It's both. As one, and then two were made from one, right? By removing bone and flesh. Now, if it just said, she is now bone of my bone and not flesh of my flesh, or different kind of flesh, right? She wasn't that, right? This is why they can come up with Lilith. But Lilith can be female side of Satan, right? The tree of life, okay, his female side is like the Virgin Mary, for example, right? This is why, even if you're calling her the Virgin Mary, it's not the problem because Mary had the Christ child, right? Now, she's not the mother of God. Right. Technically, your word God does not incorporate that which made us, right? It even, if it made everything, it's everything it made, right? It's kind of like the Hindu mythology that there are so many gods you can't really, describe them or name them all, right? Two. So the thing is, God's everything it made too, right? From the amoeba all the way up to the human being, right? So the whole planet was made, right, for us to live on together in peace and harmony. But then discord came when we sinned with Satan, not because how he did Eve, but how he did Adam. And when it was Adam's turn to eat of the fruit of his tree, Satan's, right, that is his penis, he thought it was a serpent in the tree. Yes, it is. Satan is also pictured in the tree as the serpent, though, but what a parentage of a male can look like a serpent in the tree. The penis. You just don't want to connect the dots there, huh? Right. If you're innocent Eve, Satan's hiding behind a tree and has his penis over a limb or something of the fruit tree or a fig tree, right? You're getting closer to see what's behind the tree too, right? It's another human being, but he's different. He has boobs, for example, right? So you're thinking, if you're evil, I can have a baby with him and he can nurse the children, right? That he had with Adam up to chapter day 7, right? And if we're reading it right, it's the 70th year, right? Or 69th year of day 7, right? Where they sinned, right? Now, whatever their pattern was in Eden continued until the fall, right? By the way, too, I figure every 25 years, kind of like in the Matrix style, they were having babies every 25 years, right? But after the fall, bacteria, sin, butt sex, you know what I mean? It wasn't Eve's box, it was Satan's butthole, right? And Satan also doing what? Going down into the deep right. And killing himself, going down into the grave, right? The grave became a watery grave for him, right? Because he committed suicide, right? And where do you think the spirit of suicide comes from but the devil himself, right? Who, after the fall, after having Adam's daughter, which is half Lilith, half Adam, right? So she's triple X to begin with, right? And then you go into porn. What about porn, right? It's the same thing, right? Actors are getting paid, right, to do videos. And when you see these things, whether it's consensual for the woman or not, they're choosing that lifestyle. When I seen it, try to share with you a movie recently, right, that dealt with that. What it's like to actually be in the lifestyle, right? Now, My problem is most people see me as a pretty man, so they might try to put me in gay porn. So I ain't even worried about that. Right. But again, everything has a price. And they don't want to see the men more than the women, but they still tolerate the men in porn, right? But still, it's who they want to see in porn, right? Not who you want to see, right? And they mainly want to see the women. Even the women love the women more than men. Even in porn, right? But again, some women want to see the men, like Drew Barrymore was talking about that on Cinematic Flea Tonight. They'll show the woman all over the place, but not the men. Right? You know, what am I supposed to do, right? If I'm a woman, I want to see the man, I don't get to see the men, right? Kind of a double standard there. Like Billy Cupero, I forget how to say his last name, but he was in the, what was that one? With DC, the one where they're the low grade DC comics, right? Characters, right? But anyway, one of the movies, he's naked in him walking around as Adam Man or whatever it is, right? And again, right, they show him butt ass naked, but it's not, right, a porn scene, but then him, the other actress and the other guy hook up, right? I mean, right. Right. I forgot the damn name of the movie because it's been a while since I've seen it, but told you, hey, when you're trying to remember something, but you can't. Or you know it didn't happen and they won't listen. And you keep telling them it didn't happen. And all I can do is go over what I do remember from what I don't, right? But I did marry a woman who had a 4-year-old child. You're making me have to defend that situation, not just for my sake, but for my ex-wife's sake, because she can get in trouble too, right? Like I told you before, can she knowingly let her stepdaughter, her biological daughter, wake up her stepdad sleeping on the couch? Because no, you don't know how I might interact with her anyway. Whether I did something sexual with her or not, even if I brought her back to her mom, right? Now, what you're saying is right? Without me or her knowing, or she wouldn't amicably divorce me either, right? Think about it. If I really did that, she could call the police real easy, right? But then whoever is saying, well, she didn't act because she didn't want to get you in trouble, well, you mean herself too? Right. Because that's not on me. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm sleeping on the couch in the living room, right? The child would have to wait until the mother's asleep or something. If the mother is asleep or not, right? Or the mother trying to set me up with the child, right? And she can't admit that either, right? That's a problem too. A catch-22 is something, if you admit you did, you get in trouble too, right? But if I did, that's the same thing for me, but I'm on the couch and you hear from even Oprah and Dr. Phil, when they say the child wanted the sex, they're lying, right? But you're trying to say, oh, she actually wanted the sex and actually came in there and woke me up, right? That implies you coached her too, maybe, right? The only one who could coach her is the one in the last had her, right? And that's the dad, the biological dad, right? Not me or Daphne. Daphne has to drive 19 hours from Arkansas too, right? And bring her by her dad's house and then let her stay there for 3 or 4 days and then I meet her. Then you meet her. I know that because I was sleeping on the couch anyway, right? That part I remember, right? If the girl came in there, it could only be one of the 4 nights before I moved back to base. I told you that too, right? Wouldn't be every night, and if she did it once, I just put it out of my mind and didn't worry about it, right? I brought it back to her mom, right? What else can you do? Even if it's a bad thing, it don't mean I'm going to hurt the little girl because her mom may be trained in Tennessee, idiot, right? None of that makes sense, right? And normally people don't even bring it up unless they know something more about it personally or pretending they do, right? And only Pastor Thomas or someone in Virginia, if they're messing with Jonathan even over his hair or whatever, right? Son. The problem is what? Right? Mm-hmm. They're messing with you because they messing with me differently, right? When I was in the Navy, right? They can't do you exactly the same, right? So they might be messing with your hair more, or your this, or your that, right? Or your body odor, right? Are you taking a shower regularly, right? Even if you are, you can smell. Put on deodorant, son, right? Now, in the Navy, you gotta keep your hair short, right? Mm-hmm. Two, you gotta cut it off, right? You can't let it grow out like your, no. Right. Mm-hmm. But if it is you, you're talking to me like they're talking to you, is that it? Right? And they're going to bring out different issues, your hair, your this. And so you're mixed African still with a little bit of white in you, right? And Daphne's half Native American and African American, right? That's why she's light skinned. And if Miss Walker, I don't know her maiden name, but Barbara had a recessive gene herself, that's why she's light skinned, right? The mother and father both contributed to the gene, right? To make her light skinned, right? But you won't see it if you look at Barbara head on, right? She's kind of more dark skinned. I've seen at least a picture of her Celia Cole. Not so much of her dad, I don't remember that, but I figure by Daffy, he's got to be light skinned, right? Have Native American, have African traits. Well, if his wife had some light skin in her, right? See, a white man alone can't produce a light skin. Maybe it depends on what genes pair up, right? But if it's the recessive gene and she had it, right? That's why Daphne's light skinned, but her brother and sister are both dark skinned like their mom, right? That's DNA too. Those recessive genes and dominant genes, right? And all it takes is it to pair up once, right, with Daphne, and then with the other two, didn't really matter, right? She also said she prayed about it, according to Daphne, too, right? Well, that's why, too, right? But again, get over it. You can't change what happened in the past, only today, right? Okay, if I did something, either it was very minimum contact, right? Means you won't be able to, all these few small things could happen. Worst scenarios, I tried to make sure she didn't beat or something, right? And that would involve undressing her but not having sex with her. Smelling her but not. And that depends on what you would do, right? Or what do, right? It don't mean I'm sane enough to even know what to do or not to do with her either, right? At the time either, right? See, it's already been established I'm mentally ill since 1993, right? I'm diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, right? Not because I went around hearing voices either. I didn't hear them until 93, right? I was having sleep issues maybe from the wreck, but not issues so bad that I was hearing voices, right? So you got to go over my medical history. Well, I was never hospitalized for hearing voices until 93 because I didn't think I heard any, right? Until then, right? I didn't hear that until then, right? Now, once you hear them, you're on the ship with the sailors, not somewhere else, right? That means the sailors are also causing problems, not just your new girlfriend, right? Which that's what led to all that, right, Daphne Maribel? But she not. See, I talk about three main girlfriends in the Navy that gave me the biggest problems, right? Not one more specifically than the other either, right? And also trying to show you how to move on, like Paul said too. If I tell them I'm one of the two witnesses or I hear voices and they don't understand it's something religious, right? Well, they don't understand it's something religious, right? Even if I do. Now, if I think it's better to stick out my tongue to smell her than go straight into the crotch just by understanding of the difference between licking her to me and licking her to you, right? That right. Don't mean I'm really trying to lick her or not. I'm doing what I think would show I wasn't trying to lick her, not what you think, right? And I'm hopefully making it up, but I don't know for sure. But if you know you got a camera involved, because I wouldn't do that unless we were really alone, right? Either, right? I'm trying to figure out her biological needs first, right? Two of them have to do with the bathroom, and two of them have to do with the kitchen, right? You know what I mean? Right. One is drinking and eating, one is peeing and pooping, right? And the third one is taking a bath, right? If I'm doing within those lines, I'm not doing nothing wrong. I'm being a good parent, right? Maybe a confused parent, because you're probably there a wee bit, right? That's about the worst you can say I'm doing, right? And of course, whoever's attacking me every day don't want to hear this, right? They done made up their mind I'm the bad seed or something. When I'm human, right? I make mistakes. Like when they running up on me when I was doing my martial arts outside, well, I didn't know that you might run up on me, right? But it only happened one time, right? It's not like I kept breaking her leg every time I was around her, right? That would be an issue or a problem, but, right? And of course, I helped and was involved with her till I joined the Navy, so I babysit her once in a while, right? And again, so did Mima, so did Ray. Big Roddy, so did Ray. The whole family. But when you're doing an autobiography, there are no innocents, right? There's no one innocent, not even you. You gotta admit your own mistakes, too, in it, right? You can't go around acting like you're perfect when nobody is, right? That's what I'm saying, too. I'm not saying I did it perfectly. I'm not saying I didn't seduce Sheena, but I didn't do it to rape her. I didn't do it to rape her. Now, if you have two different passages dealing with two different things, too, right? One seems more talking about rape of an unmarried woman, and the other one's talking about seducing her, or beguiling her, right? Into sex, right? Kind of like Secham and Leah. Dina. Now, Dina's going, though, to Secham City, exactly, right? From where she's at with her father, Jacob, and her brothers, and she's kind of escaping the madness of her family for a while, probably. Too long, right? This ain't the first time she's been over there either. That Secham likes her and hooks up with her, right? Basically. But then the brothers want to circumcise him and kill him, all right? For it. And they're saying they treated their sister like a whore, right? And the father's like, well, that wasn't for you to decide, right? That's for me to decide, right? What their dowry should be or not, right? And that's why Moses wrote it in the law that way, right? The father decides, not the brother, not the sister, right? The father decides, right? Now, if my father's dead, I decide whether I'm a grown-ass man for myself, right? Not you. And if I'm picking someone and you're interfering with it, you're interfering with it, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, my dream is basically of an Asian-looking girl, right? Now, I checked that there's no dipstick down there, you know what I mean? I'm looking for a slit, not an operated slit, right? I'm looking for a naturally born slit, right? And I lick the slit before I check the slit, right? And I make sure it's smelling good down there, too, and not bad. I was with one that didn't smell so good, but oh well. It was my first time, and I didn't want to judge her, right? And that's the point, too, right? I'm not trying to embarrass her, but luckily for her, I don't really remember her name. But some of them I do, right? Tanya, Lisa, Maribel, right? Sheena. Sounds like a comic picture. I mean, come on, right? Veronica, no, Veronica, but I'm just anyway. Maria, biblical names too, right? And, well, I already met Elisa, right? But the hooker called herself Lisa, right? One of them was named Tanya, but so did Samson, right? He was with a harlot when they tried to take him, but they wanted to take him in the morning when he was tiredest, I guess. But he came out at midnight instead, right? Meaning he was with her from evening to midnight instead and went out when he was strongest, right? And did her a little bit, but not all night, right? Well, then he would have been exhausted, right? If you know what I mean. Me and Rose knows what Samson dealt with, right? 7 times in a row one night, right? But after that, kind of died down a little bit to 3 or 4, but come on, right? Still a lot, right? 3 or 4 women, right? And I don't know, I didn't get her pregnant either because the last time we were together was around the middle of the month. I don't know. But like I said too, it's not just that I'm concerned with the ones I know or don't know, right? Like with Sheena, I don't know why she tripped out, right? But she's tripping out, right? Over something and trying to break up with me after we done hooked up and everything, right? So that leaves a unfulfilled question with an unfulfilled answer, right? Why'd she break up with me the way she did? The only thing I didn't tell her was I should be one of the 2 witnesses up front, right? But I told you why. People, especially religious people, flip out on me when I tell them that. But it's no different than, say, Noah telling them there's going to be a flood when it wasn't even raining then, right? They had geysers watering the earth, like Mount, not the Yosemite, right? And, all right. Well, that used to be all over the earth, and that's how the earth was watered, right? Not rain. But after that, there was some kind of catastrophe as well, like again, to wipe out the dinosaurs might have happened sooner than you thought, right? See, that would also wipe out the dinosaurs or anything, including possibly unicorns, right? Now, how do you come up with the myth, Now, maybe a child seeing a man with a sword and shield or something might think the horse is one, that's a horn on the horse's head or something, but I don't know, right? Charging towards him, that could also explain centaurs, right? If a man is on top of a horse, it looks like a half horse, half man, right? Charging towards you, right? That's some of the mythology, right, dummy? Kind of simple as that, too, right? Looks like the man and the horse are one creature, right? If they're bearing down on you trying to kill your ass, right? Or your children or your wife, I know. Might see it that way. Mm-hmm. That's just common sense, I know. Do you have any? Now, basically what Paul is saying in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, those, when you get married, get married. If you don't get married, don't get married. Remain with me, right? Whatever state you're in, right? But don't pretend Jesus wants you to be married or not married. You don't know that. Some people marry, he said. Some people don't, right? Some people are units of men. Some people are units for the kingdom of God's sake, right? I mean, they choose not to have sex, right? But then don't have sex with even jacking off another man. That's weird. That's weird. Even you got a feeling, right, that if you told people 2 grown men were touching each other, that would be frowned upon, right? That's what it means when it says, let not your good be evil looking up, right? That's a little gay too, by the way, right? Well, when I do at home and I get a Playboy and I'm looking at a woman, right, that's who I think of. Right? If you're doing it with another man in front of you, what do you think of, brother? Right? Another man, right? You're 2 men touching each other down there to finish or ejaculate, right? Whatever you want to call it, right? And who do you think of? Jesus' image? No, right? You're right in front of each other. Mm-hmm. And that's not a little gay? Yeah. That's gay. That's why I do it to Playboy or girls in pictures or right. That's why I carry around pictures of girls even on my phone. Not me, right? Yeah. But see, the real truth sets you free. The lie confuses the hell out of you because they're taking what they think makes sense from the Bible too, right? That's what orthodoxy is about. They're trying to make sense. And some of it don't make sense to them, so they're ignoring the rest, right? They don't make sense to them, and then trying to teach you what does, right? Well, that don't help either if the other things try to tell something different, right? Like if Jesus is really a true hermaphrodite or androgynous, both the male and female are one in Christ Jesus, literally. And then he has boobs and a penis and a vagina, right? And he's not transgendered either, right? That's something else. Though hermaphroditus is more transgendered, right, than truly male and female, because he has the ball sack, right? Or testicle sack, whatever they call it. The scrotum, medically speaking, right? And again, it's like using certain words offends you, right? If you're Orthodox, right? You can't say the word S-H-I-T or F-U-C-K, right? Well, then you're easily offended as an Orthodox Christian, right? Even a word can offend you, right? But then that's the point. Love keeps no record of wrong, right? Or offense, right? Even the N-word, right? Even though Southerners use it offensively, right? Don't mean every time you hear it, everybody's using it offensively, right? Now, some can say it even sarcastically to one another, and you even hear Africans use it on each other, right? When you use it on each other, you're kind of validating the word, not the other way around, right? You're giving more power to it to be used on you, right? No. And like I said, those who really mean it negatively will say it whether you like it or not behind your back, right? And you gotta catch them in the act then, right? And what you gonna do about it? Call them a honky or a whitey or right? Those are racist terms too, reversed on them, right? I know. Now all the word means are used to mean, according to the ancient Britannica dictionary, is black, right? It's another way to say black, right? But because of the sting of the Southern draw and the whip of the slave owners, you grew to despise the word black, right? I know, right. I understand, right? Well, some of you don't want to even hear it anymore, right? But what you don't understand is not everybody says it the same way everybody says it either, right? I'm sure Nick Nolte, when he called Eddie Murphy an N-word, right, in the movie, didn't mean it as it was written in the script for him to do it, right? But at the same time, if Eddie Murphy was really mad about it, he would have punched Nick Nolte in the face right after he said it. But if it's in the script, you're reading the script, right? That's the job. You still don't mean it as someone from the South who's really hating on the N-word, right? You know, people would really say it. But there again, right? If I write you a nice letter first, right, and you don't respond to me and I get derogatory, why am I getting derogatory, right? Because I could have said that in the first place, couldn't I? But I didn't, right? If I really thought you were that way, I would have called you that way up front and we wouldn't have got together, right? Ain't that the point? Ain't that the point sometimes, right? When I use sarcasm, okay, versus, I know, or, I'm being sarcastic to you, right? Meaning I heard, like, Vince Vaughn and all you Hollywood types have sex with each other first, right? And then you let people be on TV, right? Right. Or you put the people you think you can really pull it off, right? Even if someone was saying you, they gotta be a certain look, like, you know, Gunther, or whatever his name is on WWE, he looks like he's straight out the Nazi manual, right? But that don't mean I don't like the character, I don't, see why he's on TV either, right? He looks like one of those stout KKK dudes or SSS dudes or whatever, right? I know. Like he can put you in the Gestapo or something, right? But it's the character, right? It's the draw, right? He's playing, right? It's all the character. Even the Miz is the character himself, right? Who's the one who introduced Gunther, whatever, right? And again, right, as part of the plot, he was playing him, and that's part of the plot, right? That also went on back then too, right? You pay people to stay sometimes, right? If you're really a jerk in real life, I don't know, right? See, another thing about me is I'll apologize if I say something too offensive anyway, and mean that easily too, right? Though again, some people don't, right? No. That depends, right? See, racism, no matter what word you use, whitey or the N-word, right, is racism, right? When you're putting someone down and calling me a honky, right, you're using that word to offend me as the N-word offends you, right? So that's still racism versus racism, which no one wins. That's I for 9242. Right? Right. The problem with that is everybody's going to be blind out of one eye, right? So either completely eliminate the word, which if you know the word, you can't do that, right? It's too late. It's too late. I never heard the word, right? And see, I don't know how you see it sometimes, so I might say it because I'm used to saying it more, right, in the South than say up north, right? But I can also be being sarcastic, right? Meaning, when we first met, I didn't use this word at all, did I? Like with Sheena, for example. So I wouldn't just call her one unless it's something she's doing, right? Like, say I'm writing her and she's not responding, right? Then I might use the N-word. I don't know. But the point isn't then, it's what we were doing when we first met. See, I didn't use it then, right? Though I knew she was mixed, right? So she says her mother was Japanese or something, right? I don't know, right? But we're hitting it off the first 3 days just great, right? And I don't know what to say if I'm not getting a response back from her, right? Either I'm just trying to talk to her and figure out what's wrong. Sometimes you get derogatory, right? Because you don't know what to say, right? So you're saying something mean to her to get her to break up with you. Well, then break up with me then, is what you're saying. I didn't want to be with you anyway. Fine, right? You know, you say these things to get the person to break up with you, right? Because obviously they were just using you for sex too, right? Like the other girls. I don't know. And she probably feels the same with me, right? With her dad, though, being, right, the main victimizer. But there again, I come along and I'm from the South, so she's going to really, right, get the point too and break up with me. That's what I want. Either be with me or break up with me, right? I want to marry you, but right. That's what I'm saying too. I have read the Bible. I know I'm not supposed to have sex with you and just leave you, but right. And I was wanting to marry you is what I'm saying, right? But I didn't when we were together, right? I didn't want to use that word, right? What I'm saying, right? If I use it in the letters or not, right? Now, I'm also saying the shipmates could have wrote you some things, and I'm not sure about that either, but depends on how they did it, right? See, if they typed it up, they know I'm not a good typist, but they might type oddly compared to me, right? I don't know. See, I might not have been doing anything but trying to be religious with you, and they were writing derogatory things to you. I don't know what you got on your ship, right? Because I'm on my ship dealing with them too. They're having a problem with me too. But their problem is they want me to go gay with them or something, and I'm saying no, right? And then they're not training me, and that's a different issue, right? No. That's really, though, combined with you in sleep deprivation and fasting a little bit, and the religious ideas that might have triggered the voice of St. Joseph anyway. I don't know. All I can do is let you hear the theory, right? Right. Any theory. To any doctor out there, right? Medical or psychiatrist or psychologist, right? One, and say, wait a minute now, you're saying all this stuff to me, but you won't stop, right? No. You're worse than me because I stopped. I eventually let it go, right? I moved on. You're not letting me move on, right? It seems right. You're trying to change something into something I didn't even do. They're right. Stepdaughter, that is right. And so we're back to square one again. What's going on with Shane today, right? Same thing as yesterday. I'm trying to deal with the same stuff. Me and girlfriend, someone I can remember I'm with too, Maria, or whoever, right? Anna, or whatever your name is, right? Whether it's today, she was with this week, or whatever, right. And, or hot Mexican-looking girl from Chinatown now, right? I don't know. But I'm losing time differently with her, too. I might have done it more than once, I don't know, right? It's going longer to eat the same food, that's right. Though it was quicker with Michelle, but if we went to the back, too, maybe that was quicker, too, right? I don't know. But I'm not trying to hump her and dump her, right? That's the point, too, right? And I don't want to do her wrong, but I don't know how to do her completely right either for parents or against a relationship or something, right? And that's the problem, too, you got to consider, right? Okay.